After almost 5 years, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is back. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. Today, I've got my review of Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is the new Spider-Man film, the fourth from Tom Holland, and I was able to see this movie early, so these are going to be my honest, spoiler-free thoughts on the film. Of course, it comes out this Friday. I will not be giving away any spoilers here. Before I get into this, hit that like button, comment down below your expectations for this one if you have not yet seen it, as well as your thoughts on the movie if you have seen it as of watching this video, and of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 200,000 subscribers here on the channel. It would mean quite a bit. So when it comes to Spider-Man, I think it goes without saying, he's probably the most beloved hero ever. He's my favorite superhero as of today. I've obviously seen all the movies, but he's just a comfort Marvel character. There are so many different iterations of him that it's hard not to love something about this character. Going into this, I'm even of the opinion there's not a single truly bad Spider-Man movie. Yes, even The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not outright bad to me, so I'm very favorable of this character. I went in with very high expectations, considering the nearly 5-year wait between films. I walk out going, that was really good. I don't know if I'm where I was after No Way Home, but there is still so much to love with Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm diving right in with some of my pros out the gate. I'm just going to say it. This is the best looking Tom Holland Spider-Man film. Yes, better looking than Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home. It's directed by Destin Cretton, who of course did Shang-Chi, and this is what this character needed. Out with John Watts, in with Destin Cretton, because immediately, early in the film, you can feel, okay, this is a very comic booky Spider-Man. When it comes to his web swinging right through the streets of New York, the way those sequences are shot, the way it's filmed, it's just got a completely new take on it. It's fresh when compared to the last 3 Tom films. It's immersive, and I think it's some of the best looking web swinging in any Spider-Man movie, period. You get these really neat POV shots where you're looking down at his arms and he's holding onto a web, or even shots from like over the shoulder that puts you sort of in the shoes, in the suit of Spider-Man, if you will. Just really loved that. You even get this really awesome shot when he's falling down. You've seen it in the trailer. And we get a shot inside of his mask at his eyes reflecting with the light. So there was just a lot of creative vision behind the scenes, wanting to approach the MCU Spider-Man in a different light. And because of that, it just had so much life with all of the Spider-Man sequences. His suit, the best looking Tom Holland's ever worn in the MCU, without question. Oftentimes in these movies, Tom Holland will be wearing a suit and they'll kind of like airbrush it or make it look way more CGI than it actually needs to be in the final product. That's not the case here. You can tell he's actually wearing a suit. By far the best he's looked in one. On top of that, you do have some really classic Spider-Man moments. Things we've never seen Spider-Man do on the big screen. So fans, diehard fans, will eat up things we get to see as the character himself is going through some physical change here. He's in a stage in life we rarely, I feel, explore in these Spider-Man films. It's been years since the events of No Way Home, so no one knows who Peter Parker is, but Spider-Man's still been at work, and so early on in the film, they established that he has become this icon of New York City. The people love him, and I just dug everything about, I'd say, the first 15 minutes of this movie, throwing you back in, filling in the gaps, and letting people know, hey, Spidey's been around, he's been facing some enemies, and they even do this cool thing, again, from the trailer, you know, recreating comic covers. Like, they went all in as basically a love letter to Spider-Man pretty early on, saying, hey, this is going to be unashamedly Spider-Man. Because this is the 4th Tom Holland Spider-Man film, Tom Holland himself, he's no rookie anymore. He's a veteran when it comes to playing this character, and even with his recent work on the Odyssey, he has done so much as an actor that he's grown tremendously. And because of that, I'd say this is comfortably his best performance as Spider-Man. Also, given some of the circumstances with the film, his character's consistently going through it, and there are so many emotional scenes with him where he is able to dial in and get the tears going, especially if you love this character, or if you're someone who's more inclined to cry in the movies, you'll want to have your tissues here, because it's really emotional to see him come face to face with past decisions, with almost a past life. Not to go full Tame Impala on you guys, but it was so well handled at an emotional level that I can't help but sit here and go, man, he's come so far as an actor, and just the micro expressions on his face. He's able to say so much without speaking. I'm thinking of one scene in particular, and I was just like, man, what a performance. The same can be said for Zendaya. The two of them do share screen time. That's not a spoiler. It's in the trailers. The big question everyone's asking is, you know, will Ned and MJ remember Peter Parker? And the movie addresses that question really, really well. Obviously not going to say anything further than that, but the movie addresses it, And I thought that there were just so many scenes where Peter is grappling with this inner turmoil emotionally because he remembers MJ fondly and loved her, and he remembers his best friend Ned. Obviously goes without saying, the spell happened, and so it is so gut-wrenching at times to see those moments unfold of Peter having to really face his consequences directly. He's made the right decision. He didn't want to hurt those around him. He's already lost people because he was Spider-Man, and they knew his identity, and so it was just brilliantly handled at an emotional level. One of the most mature Spider-Man stories, in my opinion. It's nice that this isn't just a vessel for the action. It's very thematically rich, dealing with these concepts of grief, of confronting your past decisions, of learning to move on in life. It has some of my favorite themes that are present in really any Spider-Man movie. The first 3 films are like your classic coming-of-age tale for Spider-Man. This is almost more of an advanced coming-of-age tale as he moves into adulthood, not only at an emotional level with his relationships, friendships, but physically speaking. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the best duo in the film, that being Tom Holland and John Bernthal, right? They did Hot Ones together, so we knew they have that chemistry. They go back in real life. Here, just awesome. There are some hilarious line reads from Bernthal. He's still able to retain all the traits of, the Netflix or Disney Plus version of the character. Like, he cusses in this movie. He's saying just about everything in the book. There's still the violence, his grunts. Like, he does not lose who he is at all. And the way he's incorporated into this Spider-Man story works perfectly, in my opinion. The two of them bounce off each other so well. I hope we get more Bernthal in every Spider-Man movie. I hope he becomes his right-hand man, because he's not the only hero in this film. He's my favorite that's not Spider-Man, but at times the movie can feel a little overstuffed with heroes, and he always felt right in place for me. Michael Giacchino returns to compose the film What's New. He's done, I believe, all the other 3 Spider-Mans with Tom. I could be wrong there, but I know for sure he's done 2. I think he did all 3, though. There's a couple of moments where the score swells and you get a little chill down your neck, but what actually shocked me was the soundtrack. There were a couple needle drops that threw me for a loop. One in particular where I whipped my head over to Cam, my fiance, and I was like, are they doing this right now? Wow. It's nothing crazy. It's just one of my favorite artists had a needle drop here, and I was like, I appreciate this. I love this. This is what we need. And it just fit the vibe so well. I was like, hell yeah, let's do this thing. Let's run it. And of course, Sadie Sink is in this movie. Max Mayfield herself. Love me some Stranger Things. I can't say who she plays. Marvel's made it this huge deal. And in retrospect, was that the right decision? I'm not sure. I feel like they could have just played it low-key and not hyped it up as much. However, it is a cool reveal when it ultimately does happen, but I personally was maybe underwhelmed by it. I'm still kind of wrestling with how I feel about it. Her character in the film serves a very important role, goes without saying, so she's in a lot of the movie, and Sadie crushed it. I mean, she is so good at going to those emotional places while also having this edgy charisma to her, comparable to a Max Mayfield, if you want my honest opinion. And so I thought she brought it, and whether or not she has a big role in the MCU, I can't say, but if she does, I think that she has set herself up for success, and I am very interested to see where her character goes, if her character ends up being in anything else. No spoilers, but she does serve a big role, and I was moved by her performance. Now, not only is this a Spider-Man film, it's an MCU film, and very clearly, and when I say that, I do transition into some of my mixed bag elements. Now, a critique of the Marvel Cinematic Universe lately from a lot of fans has been the lack of interconnectivity, meaning, well, Spider-Man's in New York. Where are the other heroes? This movie actually kind of addresses that. You already know Punisher's in here. Hulk's in here, as evidenced through the trailers, and so there are heroes that we know are going to be in this movie. There are some surprise pop-ups, potentially, and it's very lived in, this New York City. For the first time in an MCU movie, really, we're seeing multiple heroes pop up and have encounters with Spider-Man, and so that's neat because it does feel comic booky. It adds to the interconnectivity of it all. But at the same time, it's kind of a double-edged sword because I do go, man, I feel like this is taken away from Spider-Man. I feel like a lot of people, myself included, can harp on how oftentimes a James Gunn superhero film feels overstuffed. It can't just focus on one character. To me, at least, there are instances in this movie where I was like, man, are we going to get back to just being full-on Spider-Man? At one point, it almost diverts from what felt like a Spider-Man movie and goes out of its way to sort of lay the foundation for maybe what's to come. It sidestepped a little bit from Spider-Man for at least 10 minutes. I didn't have a timer on me or anything, but I was like, dang, this is important backstory and setup, but at the same time, is this the right place? Is it appropriate to be doing this in a Spider-Man movie? His return after 5 years, I'm not not sure. It's like what they did with Tom Holland's Spider-Man in Civil War, except that was a lot more appropriate because that movie was billed as this big crossover event. We knew Black Panther was going to be introduced. We knew pretty much every hero at that time was going to be in that film. Frankly, that's Avengers 2.5, so it was a very appropriate time and place to introduce Tom. Here, it doesn't always work for me because it does feel like we're not derailing the movie, but we are sidestepping Spider-Man in his own movie. I'm still honestly coming to terms with how I really feel about that. No spoilers, of course. The only comparison I can think of genuinely is how in The Boys Season 5, they go out of their way to set up Vought Rising very clearly, which is the Soldier Boy spinoff. To me, at least, they kind of do that with a character in this movie. And I can't say who or what, but you'll know when you see the movie. And I can only speak for myself here, but because I did have such high expectations following Spider-Man No Way Home, and with the build-up to this film, I walked out moderately underwhelmed. That does not really mean that I hated the movie. It didn't work for me. No, I'm still very positive on this thing, as evidenced by the entire over half of this video. I just expected there to be a couple more signature Spider-Man moments where I have full-body chills and I'm like, this is Spider-Man. There's one clearly, and I don't know if that's just a me thing. Could be. Like, don't get me wrong, cool shit happens. I just felt like the emotional weight was lacking in a sense in those big moments. Almost like the stakes of the action sequences don't really live up to the emotional side of the film. An example would be in Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, the train sequence is enthralling, but also really important because Spidey is saving the day, and it's just really great for his character arc. He puts himself in harm's way, trust me, but I just feel like maybe in big action sequences, I wish the movie would have used the city of New York more. And I think because of the inclusion of that other character I was talking about, it doesn't allow for Spidey to fully be Spidey when I wanted it the most. I'm thinking the third act in particular. And I think a main reason I feel this way, I can't say much, is the film doesn't necessarily have a traditional Spider-Man villain, like how Mysterio is Far From Home or Vulture. This is unique in that sense for a Spider-Man film, and so the entire time I maybe was taken aback by how structurally it's not comparable to the other three Tom Holland films. The third act doesn't necessarily have the same type of build-up as other Spider-Man movies, and so it was a different viewing experience, one that I might not have been prepared for. I can still appreciate, but now on rewatch, I know what I'm getting myself into with the structure of the movie, with the reveals of the movie. That will sort of change the way I look at the first 45 minutes of the film. And so I go back and I say, this is one on rewatch where I'm like, it could play better once the cat's out of the bag. Overall, I'd say this is comfortably another win for Spider-Man films. It's not the best Tom Holland to me. It's going to be very difficult to top No Way Home, and not just because Tobey and Andrew, and I think that movie has just beautiful moments, Tobey and Andrew excluded even. It's better than Far From Home, and I'm pretty high on Homecoming for reference. It's right there with it, if not even a tad better. So it is one of the best Tom Holland Spider-Man films, but Brand New Day, undeniably a win. This thing's gonna make boatloads of money at the box office. I'm seeing it again Wednesday, actually, excited to go back. The more I sit with it, the more I realize structurally just not what I thought it would be, and that's okay. Now I gotta go watch it again and see how I feel with the information that I now possess. It delivers some of the best pure Spider-Man elements, like I said, with his suit, with his web swinging, with the web slinging even, but at the same time, doesn't feel like your traditional Spider movie, for better and worse at times. It's a mixed bag on that front. I gotta warn you though, okay? For my screening at least, and they might have excluded something because it was the early screening, the post-credit scene, there's only one. It was at the very, very end of the film. And for me, I thought it was lame. And I just want to let you know that now so that you don't go in expecting greatness. And that's not even included in like my score of the film, my review. It's just worth noting if you're expecting like something mind-blowing, do not. It is, to me, one of the lamest post-credit scenes in a while. Now, it's still kind of important, but it isn't very cool or memorable either. It could have just been handled with text on screen. That's all I'm going to say. But now that I've seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, I'm not sure what I have to look forward to for a while in the world of movies, which kind of depresses me. I feel like the summer movie season is winding down, but I am glad we got the Odyssey, and I'm glad we got Brand New Day. I really enjoyed this one, and I feel like it's going to be a fun one to revisit with all the information. But are you guys excited for Brand New Day? Are you checking it out this week? Let me know in the comments down below and hit that like button. Subscribe to that notification bell and be on the lookout for more videos coming very soon. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Or should I say, I'll see you guys later.